You are listening to the only show where a former police officer, alongside a current law school student, tackle politics, the legal system, and corruption. The show, known around the world as Qualified Immunity. Oh, here we go. A nominee we have. A nominee for the most powerful court in the entire world. Outside Nuremberg, with those reviews. So,
I mean,
please say you in general counsel. Please.
what?
Nothing.
Say what?
You in general counsel.
No, that thought crossed my mind. I was like, oh, nobody cares about that.
They really don't.
You said Nuremberg. I was like, well, yeah, but even their decision was de facto overturned. When the Russians invaded?
Yeah.
But basically, the Russians invaded, and the Nuremberg decision was like, no, we don't really care about that. Just let the guys go.
We only care about the Germans, not the Russians.
Which, whatever.
Meanwhile, Patton's over here like, let's march to Moscow.
Hey, if we had done it, maybe we could have avoided all that crap from, like, I guess 1950 to 1993.
If we would have done that, you wouldn't have been in a movie.
Also true.
Just saying.
Man, can you, like, the ramifications on history, like...
Oh yeah, butterfly effect. Super butterfly effect.
Like, just let Patton go, and...
I'm not sure he makes it.
Maybe not, but it's interesting to consider, like, our entire world, like, what we understand now.
Would have drastically changed.
Like, it's just different.
Because if he doesn't make it, Russia becomes the single superpower.
Yeah, if he doesn't make it. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Because Russia didn't have the bomb yet.
True, and they didn't have the delivery system either because we got all the good scientists.
Yeah, we did. Operation Paperclip. And if you do not know what Operation... Yeah. But then again, Hitler escaped to South America too, so... What?
And I'm the conspiracy theorist.
There's a whole show!
Wait, there's a whole show.
There's a whole
on
Finding Hitler.
No, like, what network?
The History Channel?
There you go.
What?
Take it from a history major.
I'm just...
The History Channel is...
Part of the reason that I believe that show is who was in that show.
Who was in that show?
Tim Kennedy.
Okay.
Tim Kennedy and, Dr. Mike Simpson. They're two ex-Green, or like, Simpson's an ex-Green Beret. Tim Kennedy's still a Green Beret.
It's the History Channel.
And Tim Kennedy went on Rogan and said he believes that Hitler escaped to South America too.
Okay.
I honestly believe Hitler escaped to South America.
I'm not saying it didn't happen. I suppose it's possible. I just
Have you watched Finding Hitler?
No, because I don't watch crap on the History Channel.
Go watch it. It got canceled for a reason.
Stop watching the History Channel. Just read a freaking book.
What's a book?
Read.
Reading? What is that? No, I'm serious. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. I honestly think they canceled that show because they got too close. Because they flew between Berlin and Spain and South America.
Wait, who's they?
Like the whole cast.
Oh, okay. Where did they think that he ended up?
Honestly, it was Chile. Argentina or Chile.
Okay. Anything specific? Like
no, I can't remember.
Oh, okay.
Like they
I'll-
get specific.
I'll look it up just to.
I'm serious. It's you will get sucked in, and you're like, what? Because they found whole. Oh, it has to be Chile because there's a whole settlement down.
There are a lot of Germans in Argentina.
Is it Argentina?
Like there are whole cities of Germans in Argentina.
There's a specific city
Yeah, actually.
that they get to, and they're like
I can see the picture of the neighborhood, but
Yes.
I can't remember the name of the neighborhood. I know which
the one in the mountain. It's in the mountains.
Yeah.
That's why I said it might be Chile.
Cobblestone streets.
Yes.
Really colorful houses.
Looks just like Berlin.
Really colorful houses.
Yep.
Yep.
And they trace back to they traced Third Reich people back to this city.
There are also a lot of Germans in Mexico.
Yeah.
And for everybody who doesn't know this, a lot of former Nazi agents, officers, a lot of them ended up in America. There are a lot of them that still in America.
Yeah.
A lot of them in Arkansas, a lot of them in Vermont.
There was one that was in New York City that got arrested when he was in his 90s. That escaped Nuremberg, and he was named in Nuremberg.
Yeah, I believe it.
He was an SS officer.
So my history professor in college, his mother was a mail carrier of all things, and she would tell him about the different people in her route. That there were some guys that had German accents that just showed up in the 50s, late 40s or 50s.
Yeah, I believe that. If you go look at, and granted, totally off topic again, but you go look at history, there's a lot of history that points at Hitler got out of Berlin.
I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying it is possible. I'll go ahead and say that. I don't know enough to actually decide on it, but the History Channel,
Go watch Finding Hitler.
I have doubts about anything.
It's worth it. Because they wanted to do another episode because they thought they were that close.
Okay.
Or, sorry, another season.
Yeah.
And A&E was like, nope.
Yeah.
They had talked to people and found people in Argentina.
You know me. I'm ever the skeptic.
I know, you're the eternal skeptic. But that's the thing. We're both eternal skeptics, and I'm like... it really did make me think twice. And the more I looked, the more I was like... There's one thing that can be settled from an outright of going, there was multiple people from the hierarchy at the very top in the Third Reich that made it to Argentina and Chile.
Oh yeah, I have no doubt about that. I mean, that's pretty obvious.
They found pictures of a guy who could be Hitler in his 50s.
But like I said, it's possible.
The trick becomes...
I'm naturally skeptical.
If you know anything about Hitler, he was a meth addict, so...
A lot of German officers were.
Oh, yeah, because they didn't know what it was at the time.
Well, they knew the immediate effects, at least. That's why they issued a bunch of soldiers.
That's the reason, and a lot of people don't know this, there's a method of making methamphetamine called the Nazi method.
Yeah.
And it's kind of archaic and simple. But
if that were coming from anybody else, I would think, what are you doing in your spare time? But you're a former cop.
Yeah, I literally, there was a chick that got arrested in Tulsa, Oklahoma a couple years ago for making it in the fitting room of Walmart.
Oh, is this like the pop bottle thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the Nazi method.
Yeah, I remember that was a big deal a couple of years ago, and it wasn't just like a one-time thing. It happened in a lot of different stores. But there was one case where somebody started doing that I think it was in Walmart, and they left it on a shelf somewhere, and it blew up and got on people.
Yeah,
it was
that's the Nazi method.
Big thing. So, yeah. But anybody else, I would be worried about it. But,
It's just the whole theory, though, of do you believe that drugs are morally reprehensible?
not sure what you mean by the question.
Well, are drugs morally reprehensible? Because if they're not,
I'm going to go ahead and say no.
okay,
Okay.
because you disagree with the drug war too.
I do, for a number of reasons, and I
Can you legislate morality?
you and I get into this argument all the time. I say you can.
You
do it
can't.
all the time. That's what murder is.
That's not legislating morality.
We've decided as a society, murder is morally reprehensible, and the penalty for it is, in some cases, death.
So given
That's what every law. That's what every criminal law is just legislating morality.
So given your
rape, murder. Sorry, I'll stop.
So given your opinion on legislating morality, you would confirm her. You would confirm Judge Barrett to the Supreme Court.
Well,
I should have gone to law school.
The question is, the question you should be asking in order to get that answer. Well,
objection, badgering the witness.
when questioning whether or not you should confirm her based on that question, the question is, well, who's morality?
I don't know.
I mean,
she's a pretty hardcore Catholic.
I mean, what morality do you want to enforce? Do you want to enforce, homosexual sex regulations, or do you want, don't kill people, don't take their stuff, don't rape people, don't touch them inappropriately?
Oh my God! It's almost like you're talking about what's that called? The non-aggression principle. That that's what's that? That's what's that? That's called.
Which, by the way, I love naps, but that's not what we're talking about. The NAV. You do love naps. I'm over here like that meme I sent you the other day. You can't survive off 4 hours of sleep. Is it not me though? It is. You do not sleep at all.
Like, hey, what's this, Red Bull?
I think you need to get some endorsement,
I am not like
advertise for.
You're the movie star.
I'm the movie star.
Yeah.
Okay. Mantra for everything. I don't care.
How did the non-aggression principle come into effect? I don't care. Oh, good God.
You're ignorant and apathetic. I don't know what that means, and I don't care.
I literally just thought that in my head of going, you're ignorant and apathetic, and you don't care. Would you confirm her, though?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't get an I don't know. You are United
I don't care.
You don't get that either.
Because when it comes to the Supreme Court, I really don't care. Like, I just don't care. I know it's going to be garbage either way.
Okay, you are a sitting senator from the state of Oklahoma that has to cast a vote.
How the hell I got here from Oklahoma?
I mean, you're decently religious enough. It's a possibility one day.
I don't know. I'm a Protestant. Those Catholics, oh man. Oh, I thought you were going to throw your keys. I was actually worried that it was going to be metal instead of plastic cone. And those are the keys from the 80s that actually hurt me.
That's sort of the reason I didn't throw them.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I thought they were my 2002 keys, and I'm like, oh no, those are the 80s keys.
You do care.
I'm not ignorant and apathetic.
Do I confirm her?
You know that vote's coming. You know that vote is coming. Do you confirm her or not?
See, I think as a senator, my answer would just always be no for everything. Not just this, but everything.
Okay, Rand Paul, you're one of the other The funny,
if you're asking me if I'm a reasonable person, which
you're not.
I can't believe I just
You're
said
not
those
even
two words.
close.
Coming from law school, I can't believe I just said those two words out in public. If I'm like a reasonable person that got elected to the Senate, maybe. I don't know.
There's no maybe. There's a yes or no. Because there has to be 3 Republicans defect. Here's my gripe and bitch. Okay. If Rand Paul votes for her
Yeah.
to confirm her,
Yeah.
I will never give that man any money again the rest of my life.
Really?
No.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense coming from you, actually.
Oh, do explain.
Well, you are very anti-theocratic.
I'm not.
That's not an answer.
I don't intend to be anti-theocratic.
You don't.
No.
What are you attempting to be? What are you trying to be if you're not anti-theocratic?
I'm not like. It's
you,
not like I wake up in the morning and I'm like, "Arr."
you talk about it so much, like you're that's.
I believe that there has to be a separation of church and state. Because if you do not have that separation, then the only difference between what most theocrats want in the United States and what they currently have in Iran is just a different flavor of religion. You end up if you go down this rabbit hole. I'm not an anti-theocrat.
You know exactly what I'm thinking right now too.
What?
Explain the separation of church and state.
The problem is it's a letter. It didn't actually get written in.
Yeah.
Like, there's precedent-ish. There's no actual real clear precedent to separate church and state. But it was a letter written from Jefferson to the Baptists. And then in exchange of letters, Jefferson believed that there should be a separation of church and state because Jefferson did not believe in a theocracy. Because there's too many variables when it comes to religion to adapt a theocracy. And the funny part is there's plenty of boomers out there that are like, oh, well, if we had done this, and they're generally Baptist. I don't know why, but they're generally Baptists. Like, the irony is, I'm the confirmed Catholic over here that would not confirm another Catholic. Because Barrett's a Catholic.
Oh, yeah, that's funny. That is actually kind of funny.
I would not confirm. I would vote no. But I don't intend to be an anti-theocrat. I just think if you have this line of thinking that you believe the church should rule the country, one, you totally missed the Middle Ages in history, number one. And number two, you no longer have the validity to chastise Iran because all the Iranian government is a theocracy. Therefore, if you're chastising them for being a theocracy, what you're really saying is, well, we disagree with their flavor of religion, not necessarily their theocracy.
Yeah, actually.
And if that's the case, you entirely miss the Crusades.
Have I told you my analogy about Oklahoma being this is not actually original with me, but I have expanded on it quite a bit. I've heard people call Oklahoma City the Dubai of the Midwest.
Okay, why?
Variety of reasons. Part of it comes down to the theocracy thing.
There is a bunch of theocracy in Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma is a pretty darn close to it. It's as close as you can get to a theocracy and still be in the United States.
But,
You think somebody does?
there's somebody that's worse than us.
Maybe, yeah.
Arkansas.
Actually.
No, go look at Arkansas state law. Like, Oklahoma's in that running right now to be one of the most libertarian states in the country, and that makes me want to vomit.
It is.
Because I'm like,
man, Oklahoma politics is so weird.
Because it's so theocracy stacked on top of, yeah, go 80, have 6 point beer, have weed, we don't really care.
Yeah. Well, that's all recent developments in the past 5 years, which I don't know where that comes from.
The funny part is the way that got pushed through was a bunch of people we called rhinos.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Well, yes. I've begun to realize that politics is not, it's not right versus left, and a lot of the people that Republicans, conservatives call rhinos, sometimes they just are actually libertarian leaning.
Yeah,
like
they are.
They're just liberty-minded people.
And I'm so tired of the term liberty-minded because in my head it's not even liberty-minded anymore.
Well, and even a lot of people in this state, they call themselves liberty-minded, are not actually liberty-minded. They're just, I mean, they want freedom to do what they want to do, but they have things that they don't want other people doing that really just don't need to be law anyway.
Well, and I will say this too. They want the freedom to make money the way they want to make money, and everybody wants to look at that sideways as that's crony capitalism.
Yes. Yeah.
But they always fall back on this moral sword of, and I get how I come off as an anti-theocrat, because I don't believe you can legitimately, and I'm talking, and this gets to some things that I even disagree with, like age of consent kind of stuff. But I don't think in this entire world you can legitimately legalize morality or illegalize morality, because morality is based on the person.
Okay, yeah.
Morality is perspective. It is.
Well, yeah, but that's basically what law is when enough individuals agree on a certain
But there's
law.
never enough individuals that agree. It's a select individuals. That's
true.
It's never the majority. Well, society has said this. No, they didn't. 148 people in Oklahoma.
And that's where theory and reality begin to diverge.
Yes, the actual reality is 148 people. A majority of that 148 people in Oklahoma agreed on something. In Congress, it's 50%. What is it? 30.
In the House of Representatives, you have 435.
It's 435.
How do I not?
Because because they don't matter anyway.
So true.
They don't actually matter anyway. Like 5 of them matter. So out of 535 people, 50.1% of them agreed on something. That does not mean the society agreed on it.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that comes back to my argument of morality. You can't legalize morality because all you're doing is, and if you throw the Supreme Court in there, okay, 535 plus 9. So you've got 544. So 50% of 544 people out of 330 million agreed on something. What?
2 things. Number one, those 535 are being taken from a very select group of people in society. I mean,
they're elitist.
Yes, and I see. I don't think that's clear enough because it's a very vague term. But there's a very specific group of people that get elected to Congress and the Senate, and most people are not those people. Like, they don't fit into that group.
No, not even close. They're hands down the top 2%.
The other thing is, and this is part of why I hate. This is part of what I hate about the Supreme Court. You really don't even need those 535 because 5 people can make law.
You're right. Well, I'll say 6 people.
Yeah.
The president.
Yeah. And really, the president almost has as
unilateral authority.
Yeah. I was going to say as much. He probably actually has more
lawmaking
authority than Congress does.
The president has more effect of authority than Congress or the Supreme Court does.
Because rules, regulations...
That definitely matters when you're 5 feet away from a nuclear football.
True, but even in writing, rules and regulations made by the president or his cabinet have the full force and effect of law.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's in writing. I mean, that's not... I didn't just dream that up. That's not how the system works. That's actually in writing.
But I get so sick and tired of people saying, "Oh, well, technically speaking, it's what the people said. We're not legalizing morality. We're legalizing what society has said." Bullshit. No, you're not.
Right.
No, you're not. Because I guarantee you, 90%. This comes back to understanding something of you cannot make that statement and that argument if you think and believe we're a republic.
Okay.
Because society does not make rules in our government.
Yeah.
People are elected to make
yeah.
rules for people.
Right.
However, my allergies are killing me.
I was gonna say, are you okay?
Dude, my allergies are like,
on the plus side, you haven't yawned yet.
I don't.
You're gonna start yawning. I'm sorry. I should not have said
Not that I haven't slept in the last couple days, but
said that.
you said the word yawn, and now I really want to yawn.
Don't do it. I need to get a squirt bottle so I can just spray.
Yeah, you do, because it's. I feel like my son at dinner tonight. He literally ate all of my fried okra and literally set his head down on the table and just started snoring.
I'm just done.
Like 3 minutes later, he pops back up. He's like, "Okra, okra." Set more fried okra in front of him, and he starts shoveling. But you cannot make this debate that society has said this is wrong. No, they haven't. A select minute percentage of society that has been elected to make decisions for society have said this is wrong. Therefore, the idea that by legalizing morality, all you are doing is legalizing or making a statutory case over something that should be a moral issue is what society wants and society has said is factually false. Because less than 1% of society has actually had a debate or a say in it.
So, how do you feel about democracies?
If you get more than about 3 million people that are clustered,
You make it work.
that was being generous by saying 3 million.
Yeah. I was going to say, I actually think democracy can work in a very specific format, and it's incredibly limiting because.
See, here's the thing. I'm going to royally piss some people off when I say this, too. Socialism can work.
Yeah, and that one of those issues that I think can be solved locally, because if your county wants to do that, that's fine.
Socialism can work
I mean,
with less than 5,000 people.
Yeah. Well, I say if your county wants to do that in Oklahoma, you have counties that are less than 5,000 people.
Yeah.
So,
You say county, you say LA County.
Yeah, that's a little bit different.
Or Orange County, or Santa Barbara County, or Clark County, Nevada.
I think if you have less than, I don't even think it needs to be that small, but
I do.
it has to be pretty small.
Because what's 5,000 divided by 4? 1250?
Roughly 1250, yeah.
It's 1,250 families.
I mean,
I'm just saying, that's roughly 1,250 families.
On average, maybe.
I'm going
With the way
2.3 kids per family.
That's not the constant anymore. We're far lower than that in the last decade.
I think I have more kids.
Yeah. We are well below replacement rate on birth rate.
That's sad.
Yeah.
We're a dying society.
Yep. Our chart's going to look like Italy. I wish I had access to those charts just like immediately. I don't want to look for this. Charts for developing countries,
Yeah.
developed countries, and then what I call dying societies or dying countries. There's a specific way that they look, and America is entering that dying stage. Italy has been there for decades, if not.
Yeah, Italy's almost gone.
Yeah. Russia is actually, they have entered the dying stage.
I was like, Russia. I know Russia entered it.
I'm not worried about Russia taking over the world anymore. Because in 40 years, there aren't going to be any Russians left if they don't change something. I heard it once, and I don't remember exactly what the numbers were. I think it was in 20 years there will be more Nigerians than Russians. I think that's what it was.
I can see that.
If they keep up their current pace, that's the kind of world you're looking at. Which is hilarious because Russia used to be the population center, with maybe the exception of China. And
I
now,
don't even want to know what China's birth rate is.
I'm guessing it's pretty low.
True, because it's controlled.
Well, it's a one-child-only society because of their population booms. Well, not population booms, just because their population size.
That's
And now China and India, I think, are pretty close to competition. I don't actually know any of this. I have to look at the numbers. I don't know for sure. So if somebody else has numbers, feel free to comment. But China and India are the two population powerhouses right now. And China is their birth rate is really low. Actually, they're going to be in trouble if they don't change something. And there's also a really why are you letting me just ramble on? We can get back on topic.
No, I'm contemplating something. Keep rambling.
China and, well, generally the Southeast Asia, generally, especially developed countries, they're in the midst of a population crisis because they've spent so much time regulating population that their population numbers are out of whack with men versus women. So there's not a way that they can actually make it work to where there's 1-to-1 and then like a birth rate that actually sustains the country. And that's a problem in more than one country. I want to say China and Japan are the two worst about that. Could be wrong. Southeast Asia with like sex and birth is super interesting because they're in trouble. They're in a lot of trouble, and I don't know if the elites realize that. Elites, government, whatever, the wealthy. I don't know if they realize that yet. A lot of interesting science coming out of Southeast Asia. Why is that interesting?
Yeah.
Regulation of sex.
No, that's not what I was actually thinking about.
Theocracy. What about theocracy?
Armies from the east.
Oh, let's not go there.
Yeah.
I don't want to go there. Not today.
You had this moment of like, oh my god, now you know what I was contemplating.
You said that, and I was like, oh, and I was like, no, not right now. Maybe later.
But I'm an anti-theocrat. That's the funny part.
You are.
I'm not. I
You
don't
are
pretend to
too.
be.
Quit lying to yourself, Greg. You know it.
You're the one that votes to
Search your
confirm a
feelings.
fascist.
You know it to be true. What?
You're the one that wants to confirm a fascist.
Her Fourth Amendment stuff.
Barrett's a fascist.
Depends on what you mean by fascist.
Oh my god, Bill Clinton. Okay.
I
Barrett's a fascist.
don't know if she's a fascist. I told you before we even started, I don't care if she gets confirmed or not.
Does she though?
Does she get confirmed?
Yeah.
Interesting question. So they.
I swear to God, Rand Paul, because I've got Ron Paul in mind. You know,
Yes.
he had a medical episode.
Yeah. What? Do you know any details on that?
It looked like I saw the video. It looked like a stroke.
Because I saw that.
But Rand tweeted out that he was okay.
Well, and strokes you can't have minor strokes. I mean, that's.
He legit looked like he had a stroke on air.
Well, I was okay. Although.
He looked okay in the hospital, but age is going to get everybody.
Yeah, everybody goes at some time. And Ron has. I will say this: Ron is going to have a good run.
Yeah. Yes.
Uh,
Rand, I swear to God, if you can vote to confirm her, I will never give you another dime.
Okay.
You can't you can't put your stake in the ground on civil liberties and vote to confirm this bitch.
Okay, so do you want to talk about whether or not she gets confirmed or her policies?
Yeah, both.
Okay, there was a date slated for her. Was it a confirmation hearing, or was it
The vote on the floor.
the vote on the floor?
Yeah.
Oh, so they're gonna. Okay.
They were talking about the vote on the floor
So-
being October 29th.
So the questioning is obviously going to happen before that. Okay.
There has been rumors that McConnell is going to have a vote on the floor October 29th.
You want my honest opinion about how this turns out?
Yeah.
They've slated it for October 29th. They're probably going to delay that by around a week, I'm guessing. Yeah,
Election day is November 4th.
yeah. October 29th is going to come up. Somebody's going to say, "Well, wait a minute. We gotta hear some more from this lady before we confirm her." They're going to delay for about a week. The election is going to happen, and in that, we've talked about this on previous episodes. That little window between the election and
November 9th.
November 9th. Is it the 9th?
Yeah,
Somewhere
it's the 9th.
I think they're going to have a hearing between those dates, and they're going to try and get her in there and try to pressure.
Here's the thing, though. There's a reason they want her in there on the 29th.
What's that?
Or maybe it's the 28th.
Is it because of Halloween?
No.
Oh.
Because the Supreme Court's taking on the Affordable Care Act
Okay.
the week before the election.
And Barrett has her policy on the ACA is
Oh, she'll overturn it.
yeah, she's not friendly
Like-
to the idea.
No, not friendly. She's fucking grade A hostile. I'm not saying I agree with it, but not friendly.
You know me, Greg. Ever the skeptic and ever the understater.
I'm telling you, people don't believe me when I say this. And there's a lot of left-wing outlets saying this right now, and maybe I'm becoming a leftist. I'm not a leftist. I'm just saying, this can easily look like Barrett's vision of America is a Handmaid's Tale written out, ready to go. That made you speechless.
Well, no, I'm thinking.
I'm just saying.
I don't know enough about A Handmaid's Tale. I need to. do
Holy
some
crap!
research.
You've never watched The Handmaid's Tale
No,
or read the books?
I would rather read the books.
The Netflix series does a pretty good job.
I'll read a book. It's fine. I'll just.
All
I mean, I know like very, very, very roughly the concept.
Okay, I'll make you a deal.
And I
What's some stupid ass movie you want me to see that I've never seen?
Hey, I think you've told me before that you've never seen Indiana Jones.
No, I haven't.
Okay, that's probably the one. I mean, there's like a whole list, but that one's probably at the top.
I'm not that uncultured.
No, you are. You kind of are.
Shut up. Conversations with people about their lines.
Do you want to talk about how uncultured you are?
How uncultured am I?
Indiana Jones? Is that a yes or no? Have you seen it?
No.
Any Jack Ryan movies?
Does the new Amazon series count?
No.
No.
I know you're a pretty big Star Wars fan.
Yeah. Compared to one guy consistently, and I don't understand it.
Any full episode or movie of Star Trek?
No. Why, the new ones count?
Yeah, let's count the new ones.
I think my wife took me to two of the new ones.
You think?
I don't know. I was on my phone.
I was going to say, did you spend the entire time on your phone? Because I know that's what you did. Holy crap.
I want to say I was running for office in the middle of one of them.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
About 15, 16? Did a new Star Trek come out?
It may have been. I want to say they were put in 18. I could be wrong on that.
The first new one that came out,
Yeah,
I know I saw.
that was 2009, I think. 2008, 2009.
Okay, so there was a second new one
Yeah, there are 3 new ones.
that I've seen 2 and 3.
I'm trying to think of other movies that you probably haven't seen that are like classic American.
I've seen Gone with the Wind. I own it.
that's good because that is actually a classic film. There are like so many movies from the 80s that I could just rattle off.
It was the 80s. To stay in the previous episode, there was a reason the 80s died.
There's another reference I could make there, but
They've seen classic American films. Gone with the Wind, North by Northwest.
Wizard of Oz. You've never seen The Wizard of Oz? Oh my gosh.
The only reason I know about Wizard of Oz is I played in a musical. I was a part of a Wizard of Oz musical, and I had to like learn something about it, but I never saw the movie. I just saw the clip on YouTube that I need to learn. What?
I'll just make you a list because it's obvious that
I'm just saying, like, for every hour I spend.
See, here's the thing. Like, I have friends that think I'm uncultured because I haven't watched like The Wild Geese.
What?
Yeah. I think this is why we're friends, because sometimes you make me feel good about like what I have seen.
I'm busy.
You need to start having like family movie night. That's what you need to do.
No, I'm just saying, whatever movie you want to watch is fine, but you've got to watch the first season of The Handmaid's Tale with me.
Well, now I'm torn between Wizard of Oz and Indiana Jones. Not because I love the Wizard of Oz, just because that's like the
Americana.
Yes.
No, it's not. North by Northwest was.
You have seen that one. I'm proud of you for that.
That's like
nice.
That's like my movie.
Have you seen The Birds?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have like an Alfred Hitchcock thing? Okay. I will say that I can appreciate. That is nice. That's
and then Dances with Wolves. That's
you have a Cary Grant thing. I
Yeah.
forgot about that.
I have a huge Cary Grant thing.
Charade? Have you seen that one? Okay.
So my mom and I used to watch Charade together.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
my dad and I would always watch Dances with Wolves together.
Okay.
Like, it did not matter
Yeah.
what time it was. We were both still up, and my dad was flipping through channels, and we caught Dances with Wolves. And we would watch to the end, no matter what.
Father Goose?
Yes.
Okay.
And then, my dad and I would watch Dances with Wolves or Shane.
Shane.
You ever seen the movie Shane?
I don't think so.
It's like a spaghetti western.
Yeah, I can tell by the name.
Go watch it.
Who's the...
I can't tell you.
Okay.
I legitimately can't tell you. Like, it might not even be an A-list actor.
I'm just going to have to make you a list and, like, prioritize what I watch.
Like, that's what people don't understand is I grew up on spaghetti westerns.
Okay.
Like, if John Wayne made it, I saw it. If Cary Grant made it, I saw it.
Oh. You said John Wayne, so now I have to find the movie title. Oh, man, what is it? It's not.
That's like when they came out with the new True Grit.
Yeah.
You know what I did not go see? The new True Grit.
It's actually not bad. It's truer to the book than the original, but the original, I think, is actually a work of art also. I mean,
The film is supposed to...
Yeah.
Before I give away too much of my personal life.
Uh,
And I have to go get a COVID test tomorrow because of my personal life.
what is the name of that movie? Oh, The Conqueror. Have you seen it?
You had to bring up the worst John Wayne movie of mankind.
Have you ever like looked at John Wayne's response every time he's asked about that question?
No.
Asked about that movie?
No.
He clearly does not feel very good about the movie, or did not feel very good about the
But
movie.
it was John Wayne. So it didn't matter.
John Wayne routinely said it was like the worst role that he ever had.
I believe that. 100%.
He hated that movie, which, granted, he should. John Wayne is not Asian. Although statistically, it is actually likely that he's descended from being his cousin.
Oh my God. Would you confirm Barrett or not?
See, in an election, I at least have, like, who are they running against?
No. This is based... This is easier. It's based on the person.
In that case, no.
Really?
I'm probably going to vote no on every single person you put in front of me because none of them are going to measure up to my expectations.
That's your literal chance to overturn Roe v. Wade.
No, even if she is confirmed, then I'll overturn.
I don't believe that.
No.
I think your chance to overturn Roe v. Wade is Amy Barrett.
You're talking about one justice.
One justice is all it takes, unless they pack the court. Right now, Roberts is a swing vote.
I would actually be really interested to see a court packing battle. That's what I want to see. That sounds fun.
I don't want to see that. Sounds like a waste of my time.
It sounds like true entertainment, which really, let's be honest, that's the only value in American politics anymore.
You're right. You're right. This is all basically the Hunger Games. You really wouldn't vote to confirm? Like, you expected me not to confirm her. I also expect you, Rand Paul, not to confirm her.
Why do you keep bringing up Rand Paul?
Because I know he's going to vote yes, and it's going to piss me smooth off for a week.
Just a week.
At least.
Because
he's like...
You have a short memory.
No, I don't have time to be pissed that long.
I have politicians that are still on my bad list for votes that they cast 5 years ago.
I don't have time to be pissed that long. You can't fix stupid. You can hit it with a 2x4, but you can't fix it.
Not pissed. It's just every time I see that person, I'm like, oh, you screwed up on that vote. That was actually really important. There's a politician that I see routinely. Every time I see him, I think, oh, you voted against that one thing. Well, actually, voted for it, but he screwed up the
it's one of those deals. When you stake your career on social and civil liberties, you cannot consciously vote for Amy Barrett outside of towing a party line. And if you're stacking your career and your integrity on standing for social and civil liberties, you cannot fucking vote for Amy Barrett.
Why don't we do some specifics?
What?
Well, what's in
gay marriage?
How has she decided?
She'd overturn it tomorrow.
Really?
Yes.
She said that?
Pretty damn close. She's implied it multiple times. And on top of that, she came out with a letter last year that drastically changed the idea of what sexual assault should be on campus versus what it is. She would totally undo Title IX. She would totally undo LGBTQ rights. And you know I've got my issues with LGBTQ.
I don't know specifics on what you're talking about as far as sexual assault, but I will say this. Universities do not handle sexual assault well.
No, and Title IX is written for a reason.
Yeah, but
the problem is universities don't have the manpower to follow Title IX.
True. Well,
the other side of that statement becomes this too. And you know my opinion on abortion.
Yeah.
As much as I do not like it, as much as I despise it, and as much as I have been a male victim of it, and as much as that grinds me to this day and aggravates me and racks me to my core, show me the legality in which you're going to follow to criminalize it. Because you have to have elements of the crime. And 99% of people who run out there and say, we're going to abolish abortion, we're going to make it illegal, they're going to fuck off the second it's illegal. They're not going to look at what the law actually says or how it's impacted.
Well, that's true of almost every political.
I understand that, but you're talking about charging somebody with homicide. We're not talking about a minor crime here. We're talking about charging somebody with murder and putting them through the hell of a trial and the hell of the experience and their arrest and the arraignment and everything that goes with it.
I'm willing to say that you can actually make an argument that sexual crimes are roughly the same.
But it's easier to prove.
Sexual, well, not necessarily.
Mm.
Child molestation, how do you prove that?
Physical evidence.
Child molestation, what physical evidence are you
There, it's forensic interview. There's ways to do it. Like, I've been there.
I've seen some really crappy forensic interviews before.
I'm not saying you're wrong. You've also been in little counties.
That's also true.
I doubt you've ever seen a good forensic interview.
It depends on your definition of a good forensic interview.
I can take you 3-4 hours south of here and show you somebody that's a good forensic interview.
Well, what do you mean by a good forensic interview?
Like they
Like getting an admission?
no, like that kid will spill their entire guts and never know they did it. And you know,
Okay.
like there's a lady about 4 hours south of us right now who works in the federal court system that deals with trafficking victims. That is a forensic interviewer, and she like all she does is talk, and literally before it's all over, it's all admissible on paper. Like it's the craziest shit I've ever seen in my life, and it never once does it feel like an interview. No, like it's mind blowing to me. Like it's absolutely mind blowing to me to watch them do what they do. Or used to watch them do what they do.
Okay.
Like
so,
I'm just saying, like
yeah.
you're getting to this moment of going child molestation. Okay, there's ways to prove it.
Yeah.
We're talking beyond a reasonable doubt. We're not talking 100%.
We're pretty far off topic.
No, it's not, because the number one key issue that's going to come to Barrett is abortion.
Okay. All right.
The number one key issue that's going to come to, not to mention Barrett's replacing who? Ginsburg.
Yeah.
The number one issue, yeah.
That's interesting, not just because of abortion, but because of like feminist issues.
And Barrett believes that a man runs the house, and a man like. There's a lot of things about Barrett that are the total antithesis of what Ginsburg was.
Yeah. Which is
Trump being Trump. With that being said, though, I wouldn't confirm her for a lot of reasons. I don't think you can legislate morality, and I think abortion becomes one of those. I want to see a full-fledged, brought-out detail. And I'm not kidding when I say this. I want some abolitionist to show me elements of the crime, not just look up and say, oh, well, whatever first-degree murder is. Well, congratulations, you made abortion illegal, and you will never convict a single fucking person.
What about Barrett's Fourth Amendment stuff? I mean, I actually kind of like some of the Fourth Amendment decisions that she's made.
It's not bad, but it's not good.
What's not good about it?
She would lean blue before leaning.
Ooh, oh, okay.
She would lean blue.
Have you seen some of the decisions that she made on Fourth Amendment stuff?
Yeah, I've also seen the cops who were idiots and didn't know how to write a report.
Well, I mean, I read about one decision at least where, well, this one particular decision that I'm going to talk about. The cops show up and ask permission to search this house from some lady that's there in a bathrobe. She says yes. They search the house. They find something. Barrett said, hey, that's not good enough. You don't know that she actually lives there. And she didn't. She was just spending the night there. She didn't know the residence. And Barrett tossed it.
Cops did that.
That's fair.
A reasonable person would assume somebody there in a bathroom after dark is arrested.
Why would you assume that?
Why would you not?
She could just be spending the night. That's pretty routine now.
A reasonable person.
What about the reasonable person?
A reasonable person would assume she's a resident.
Maybe.
If you, officer, knock on the door at 11 o'clock at night and somebody comes to the door in the bathrobe, what are you going to assume?
Probably that they're a resident.
Exactly. They didn't have a good enough lawyer. So, officer, you knock on the door at 11 o'clock at night and you ask this person in a bathrobe if you could search the house. Did you believe at the time that that person who came to the door half naked at 11 o'clock at night was a resident of that house?
But Barrett didn't say that. So,
I'm.
do you think she decided wrongly on that one? Because she actually went less blue than what you're saying she should have done.
I'm saying that's what I could have argued with that little one.
Okay, but
What did she say?
she said the officers could reasonably assume that the woman had spent the night at the apartment, but that's about as far as the bathroom, as far as the bathrobe could take them. And under the Fourth Amendment, that's end quote. Under the Fourth Amendment, she concluded the agents conducted an unreasonable search.
Oh, that's vague and bullshit.
But if you want to say that she's wrong on this issue, I mean, she's even more. That looks like a victory for the Fourth Amendment. Does it not?
It does, but I don't think it's a real victory. I think it's a paper victory. Does that make sense?
What do you mean by that?
I don't think. I think that's a lack of defense, not a judgment on the process. I only think you get a real victory when you have equal sides trying to push a point,
Okay.
and then you get to a precipice like Roe v. Wade,
Okay.
to where you've got two opposing sides pushing, and then there has to be a decision. That right there, like, I don't see how she like. I need to read the full brief because I don't. If I knock on a door, or if you knock on a door, and you've never been a cop a day in your life,
yeah.
If you knock on a door at 11:15 at night, and somebody answers the door in a bathrobe, you at that point become the reasonable person.
Okay.
And at that point, a reasonable person would assume.
So you think because it wasn't argued well enough?
I don't think
It's
the
not
facts were articulated enough to make it a valid legal decision. That's what I don't. There's articulation was missed in there, and I'm second guessing this based off not reading a brief and not reading transcript, and
Okay.
saying, how do you not articulate the fact that somebody's half naked in a bathrobe at whatever time it was? I'm assuming it was at night. It might have been in the morning, but how do you not articulate that a reasonable person would assume that that person is a resident? Because at that point, then you have to define residency.
That's also true.
Because if she stayed more than 14 nights in that month, she's a resident under Oklahoma law.
Well, consider the ramifications of that decision. I mean, if you're a cop and if we're in a courtroom and I bring this up and say, hey, you didn't confirm that this person is actually a resident, what does that do to every search that you do? I mean,
It changes the entire paradigm.
yeah.
But I'm not saying that.
And it's not in cops' favor. I
But
mean,
my point is that didn't do that. That didn't do it.
If it's used right, I think it does.
It wasn't definitive enough to do that. Otherwise, every single time a cop came to your door, the first thing they'd have to ask you is, do you live here? Which some do, some don't. But the sneak around to getting consent is not asking that question. Because the fallback, and I'm telling you like the cop playbook right now,
Yeah.
the fallback is, would a reasonable person believe they're a resident?
Well, Justice Barrett said no.
I don't think Justice Barrett had enough. I think it was such a minor case that it doesn't have enough major impact. That, you see what I'm getting at?
Well, it doesn't have to be a high-profile case to actually set precedent.
It does for precedent to matter because there's been enough precedent at this point that it can get lost in precedent. There has been.
I'm not sure. It's possible that I misunderstand, but I don't.
There's been okay. Used to be if there was 50 to 100 precedent cases, it was easy to point at and say, "Look, precedent." Right? How many precedent cases are there now?
I mean, there's a whole. Are you talking about one specific like
Fourth Amendment
issue
precedent.
on what? I mean, the Fourth Amendment. There's a lot.
I know, that's my point.
Okay, like if you're looking for a very specific. Okay.
And then that turns into how do you interpret precedent?
Okay, so if I have a case where I'm defending somebody and this issue comes up where, hey, they asked this person to search my house, that person doesn't own my house, they don't live in my house.
But you know the case because that's your issue.
I think I ought to show you how searching a legal database actually works, because you can get some incredibly specific precedent. Like, and it's not hard.
That's what I'm like. I don't think it made the impact of how many people know about that case that it could have impacted it for the last 5 years. You know what I'm saying? This is my theory on precedent. Precedent is only as good as the press it comes with.
I disagree.
I also think lawyers are lazy. 90% of them aren't going to go dig unless they know the press about
I will agree with that.
it. So you don't vote to confirm her, huh?
I know her Fourth Amendment, so it's pretty good. All depends on what issue I hear.
I'm an anti-theocrat at this point, so I'm not confirming your opinion. Oh my God, screw up your tagline.
I'm on the Twitter. You got me out of order.
I know I did it on purpose.
I'm on the Twitter at the Lucas Cohen. Vote bold, vote gold, JoJo 2020.
I'm everywhere else. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, yada yada. At Greg Jingle, GREGJINGLE. Also, we're on every single major podcast outlet out there. So, like, subscribe, leave a comment, and I will end this the way I always end this. Live today, love tomorrow, and unite forever. Till Valhalla, guys. Bye.